Hey guys, welcome to my February 22nd DVD and Blu-ray collection update. I talk about all the DVDs and Blu-rays I've gotten over the last, I think it's about a month or so. And I always say I'm sorry it's taken a while, but I have a bunch of stuff that I watched, and I really am just trying to watch as much stuff as I can for these. So it does look like these are probably every month or so. And I really had to do this one right now because on Friday I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, so there won't be any video, about 2 weeks, so there won't be any video up for a while. I'm doing 2 different films, and the one's with MJ, so there'll be some videos with MJ Kelly, you know, who was in the Around the Towns with me for pretty much all the older ones. But now I wanted to mention a couple different things. One of the shorts that I did, a little part in with Brendan Mitchell, Wet Movie 1, and Cameron McCaslin directed it, who did The Lashman, which the trailer will be up for that really, really soon, called Dr. Gangrene's Horror Green Special. I think that's what it is. I always screw the name up. I'm really bad at explaining it. But it's up for an award, and I'm going to put the link under this video so you guys can figure out how you vote for it, because it's really difficult to explain it. That's why I haven't mentioned it till now, because it's hard to explain, but he explained it really good. Also, the first DVD I want to show is one that I've been waiting to come out for a while, and Cheesy Flicks just put it out. It's the film that, if you guys haven't seen it yet, there's a clip of me from it with me and Ron Jeremy in it. It's a comedy film, not a porn film, but it's me and Ron Jeremy. I have a couple different parts in this film, me like at the beginning and the end, I mean the middle and the end. The ones with Ron Jeremy in the end, I don't want to ruin it. But definitely check this out. It's called Slaughter Weekend. You can get it on Amazon.com, so just search Slaughter Weekend on there. Definitely check this out though. As I said, it's me, Ron Jeremy's in it, Lloyd Kaufman's in it, Mike Shank from, if you haven't seen American Movie, is in that. The guy with the long hair, his friend from American Movie, he's in that. Now on to the DVD update, and like I said, check that out. The first one is one I got sent to review. It's a short that's going to be part of, I think, an anthology horror film called Deep Into the Rabbit Hole. And this is one that I thought was really pretty cool. It's about these kids that find this, the one friend gets killed off by this thing in this hole. There's like a weird hole in the ground. It kind of reminded me, if anyone's seen the movie Pit, it was kind of like that similar concept, only it was a bunch of kids trying to find the thing rather than this one weird kid with this thing in the hole in the ground. But it's these kids trying to find what's killing these their friends, this hole in the ground. I don't know, I really thought it was cool. It's a little difficult to explain, but it really, really was cool. I read one review of it that I thought that it was really good, though. One review I read said the acting wasn't good. I thought the acting in it, I mean, I personally thought it was good, though, the acting. Now, the next one I got is, and this one is one of those burn-on-demand ones from Warner Brothers. And the one I saw they put out, Universal's now starting burn-on-demands, which I thought was kind of interesting. And they put out Cool as Ice, which I've never seen, but I've heard a lot of negative things about it. But I might have to watch it. But this one is, you know, the classic kid and play in the movie Class Act. And, you know, they were both in the House Party films together. But I personally, this was always my favorite of all the movies they did together. I don't know, I miss these guys. I thought they were cool. I mean, I know there's been talk, like little whispers every so often, they would come back and do another film together. But I don't know if the one guy could grow his hair like that again or not. I don't know. He'd probably have to wear some kind of wig or something. But it would be interesting to see it again. But in this one, they get switched. The one's like the troublemaker in school, like it's like always in and out of jail. The other one's the real smart, intelligent student. And it's kind of weird. The school has 2 different sides to it. The one side is like the gifted and talented part. The other part is almost like a jail with these really bad kids screwing around all the time. And the 2 characters get switched, and they have to play the other role, because if he doesn't, the one said he's going to kill him or beat him up, something like that. And there's the best sequences in this are the scenes in the end, in the Wax Museum that I love. Pauly Shore also has a cameo in it, you know, as his Weasel character, pretty much that character. I don't know, he wasn't credited for it though, but this is a really good one. You know, like I said, the only way you can get this is on Amazon's Burn on Demand. Amazon sells it, and Warner Brothers Archive sells it. It is in widescreen though, and looks really good. So, I mean, like, if that's the only way you can get it now, I would recommend it. The next one I got, the guy who made this sent it to me, and it's really cool, called Destined to be Ingested. It stars Suzi, Lorraine, and it's about a group of these, it's kind of a spoof of the cannibal films, kind of like Cannibal Holocaust, that kind of thing, about a group of people going out on a trip, a boat trip to an island, and they end up on an island inhabited by cannibals, and they kind of have to try and find the way off of it. And I don't know, I thought it was really well done. It was shot really well. This is definitely one I would recommend checking out if you like cannibal films and you like kind of the spoofs of them that they've done too. They even, like, everything to a T with this. There's also very good production values too with the cannibal tribe and everything. It's definitely one to check out. It's definitely spoofing, I would say, more Cannibal Holocaust. Not about the aspect of like, it's not filmed like a documentary like that, but it's that same kind of idea. Now this one came out, and I was surprised. I'm glad this finally came out. It's only $5 too, and it's probably going to be sold in Walmart's, like the $5 bins. But I got it off of Amazon, and it's Hey Vern, It's Ernest, which was the Ernest TV show he did, and I think it was in the like 85, 86, something like that. And I don't think it was very popular. I know the character Dr. Otto, they made a film after that character, but I don't think it was extremely popular. It's funny, though. It's a lot of the same stuff. I mean, it's not amazing, but if you like Ernest, it's really good. Another subject, though, on Ernest, I just saw that their Ernest is actually hitting Blu-ray. I never thought it would happen, and I'm really glad that it is. The company that put this out, and I hope they give it a good Blu-ray transfer, but they're putting out Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Goes to Camp on a double pack, and it's like $10, $15. I already pre-ordered it. Hopefully they're going to put out every Ernest film on Blu-ray. I don't think some of the later ones would look that much different on Blu-ray, but because I think the other ones were sort of shot cheaper. The first 5 movies that were theatrical films. The later ones were direct-to-video. I'd still like them on Blu-ray, though. But I think Buena Vista sold off the movies because they've been re-released to a different company. So I guess Buena Vista didn't want to deal with them, or didn't think they would make money, or couldn't produce them at the low cost, something like that. I don't know what happened. The next one I got from iOffer, and it is just copied off the TV. But I really wanted to watch these, and I said I've been trying to get all the Corey Haim films, and it's the two Corys, and I made this cheap cover. I just wrote on it. But it's basically, all it was the discs. It was only $10, and I didn't see the show for some reason when it was on. I don't think I even was watching like a lot of TV then. In like 2005, I think it was on, or 2006, something like that. I don't think I was watching TV as much at that point. I was watching just more movies. Now, I watch all those Storage Wars and stuff, but there's a lot of scripting going on in the show, and I remember them being on one show saying, "Don't believe what you hear on the show." So I don't know what portion of it was real. Very depressing, though, the stuff with Corey Haim and the drug stuff. It was very sad. I liked seeing it, but it was really sad. And Corey Haim, though, is someone that I really miss as an actor. I was always a big fan of his. I was so glad to see that at least he got a little bit of a comeback with Crank. And then there's one that's coming out with him as like a hitman or something like that when he's the lead, which I really want to see that. This one I didn't get to look at, and it's Webster Season 1. And I don't think, for some reason, this is like one of those shows that I don't feel like they ever really showed much on TV. It was, so I was just making sure it was actually recording. I'm like, fuck if it wasn't. But I don't remember them rerunning this too much on TV. I really don't, though. So I don't even remember what it was about, but I always wanted to watch it. But they never showed it much. They always showed different strokes. But, like, they never showed this one. I don't know if it wasn't that great or something. I don't remember it being showed much. And now I'm going to get on to the Blu-rays that I got. Now, the next one I got is one that's, I think I had the DVD of it. I don't think I ever got to watch it. I don't even know if I have the DVD anymore. And it's Tobe Hooper directed this, and it's called Mortuary. And it's one of those ones that was always in those $5 pack when it was like 4 movies for $5, or like 3 Blu-rays for $12 or something. This was, I think, like $4 or something. And it seems like it's gotten kind of a bad rap. And it's actually pretty good. I liked it. It's the kid from the Hills Have Eyes remake, the main kid. And him and his mom and sister move into bombing like a funeral home, and she wants to, some reason, she has this idea to start up a business at the funeral home. I don't think she ever did it before. For some reason, she wants to do it. The mom's the one from Pet Sematary. And I don't know, for some reason, there's like something that's like a curse on the land and stuff, and there's this weird son that was like tortured and stuff, and I don't know, the things start coming back to life. It's very hard to explain, and I felt like at the end, they kind of gave up on the effects. Like, the effects got really cheap and strange within the last, like, no, not 3 minutes, like, maybe 10 minutes. Got really cheap. And I don't know if the money ran out or what happened. But up until that, it was cool. Bug Hall from Little Rascals is in it. And I always like Bug Hall and things. I'm glad to see he's still doing stuff. I think he's a good actor. And he was in this too as like this crazy, like, sort of turd that was in the neighborhood that was always bugging him. I don't know. It's interesting, though. It's hard to explain, but it's interesting. Now, this one I really wanted to see, and it's from Ghost House Underground, and I don't feel like they're promoting this like they did the other 4 movies they put out. This one's kind of just, like, out. Like, the other last 4 ones, there's all this promotion and stuff for it. This one's just like, it's out now if you want it. And it's called Stag Night, and it stars Breckin Mile. Now, you know Breckin Meyer, but I like to say Breckin Mile. You know, from Road Trip and a couple other things. I think he was in one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. It's a low-budget movie. I think he was shot in, like, was it Berlin or somewhere in Europe, I think. Because you could tell the subway, they tried to make it look like New York, but parts of it were too European, and you could tell it was not an American subway in a few places, and it just didn't look right. But it's about a group of these guys who are out for a bachelor party, and they end up getting kicked out of this club. So then they have to go somewhere else, and they end up getting on the subway late at night, and on the subway they have to stop at certain points, at certain stops, or for another train to go by. They end up stopping, and they end up getting in a fight with these 2 girls on there because the one guy's drunk and hitting on him. I think it's Breckin Mile that's doing it. So then they all get off. The girls get off on at this random stop on the thing. They open up the door and get out, and it's in this old abandoned part of the subway. Which I don't know if that exactly would happen, because I don't feel like a subway would go by an old abandoned stop. I mean, if anybody knows that happens, I mean, that would be cool if they did. I'd like to see that, but I don't think they do. I think those are like other tunnels that no one goes down. But it ends up getting off of this old part of the tunnel that's closed down. They made another movie about like weird stuff in the subway called Shadowland or something, with the kid from The Sandlot and the vampire. It was kind of good. It was another one of those in those 50 movie packs, or those in the company that put this out pack. But they end up getting out, and they don't know what to do because they're miles away. They got out the wrong stop, so they have to try and find a way out. Then there ends up being these cannibals in the subway, that are after them. They find them, they start trying to kill them off one by one. I thought the movie was really a cool concept. The biggest problem, in my opinion, with this movie was how it was shot. And the thing is, I like movies. I don't have a huge problem with movies that are shot handheld and a little shaky. But this was shot so shaky, it made Cloverfield look like, Napoleon Dynamite. Because Napoleon Dynamite was all stagnant shots. It was, here's the camera. And it was twisting every which way. Like, it was like if I was running, shooting, about, and then the whole time during all the chase scenes, I felt like saying, calm the fuck down and just keep it steady. And whoever shot it, you could tell that they must have looked back on the stuff and been like, because near the end, they calmed it down a bit. So I have a bit of a feeling that they looked at it and were like, oh, fuck. Because it was shaky. It was shaky to the point that if you could get sick. It was shaking so much. And the thing that's a shame is, like I said, it was a good movie. It really was. It was a cool story. I liked it. But the downfall was it was just shot so shaky. The next one is one that a lot of people said they didn't like too much. And it's the I Spit on Your Grave remake. And, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the girl they got did a really good job. I heard her on Howard Stern saying how she doesn't want to keep doing horror movies, but I feel like, she might as well. There's nothing wrong with them. Some people get that in their head that there's something wrong with horror movies, like they get put up against, like, porn in some people's eyes, which I hate, because I personally love to act in horror movies. It's my favorite type of movie to do and to watch, so it's like, I don't know. But this one, if you haven't seen it, it's pretty much pretty much the same remake-wise, like the deaths and stuff of when she gets revenge on people change. But it's her out. She's out in this one. It's a little different. She's not on the boat and all that stuff. She's out in the cabin writing a book. And these, I think it's 3 or 4 of these like pervy townsboys end up, you know, breaking into her house and screwing around with her, and then she ends up getting raped by them. And then it's her, you know, she gets left for dead. And, you know, this isn't anything anybody doesn't know. The whole idea is it's a rape revenge movie. But she ends up coming back to get revenge on them. There are a few little things about this, and even the original one, that I felt like they should have done some, that I've always felt like they should have explored more with, was the fact that when she was missing for so long, I wish they would have showed more of her, like, living out, or wherever she was staying, and things like that. They didn't do that, as I remember, in the original either, and I always thought that it would have been cooler to, you know, expand more on that, especially since this is a remake. It wouldn't have hurt to do that, and I don't think anyone would have cared, you know, if they changed it a bit. The one guy from this that I recognized was from Mean Girls as the gay best friend of Lindsay Lohan's. I like that actor. This is definitely worth checking out, though. You can get it. It sucks. I think it's like $19.99 now. I got it when it first came out. I was like $30. That always happens at Best Buy. Like, things start out expensive and then get cheaper. This one, though, is a exclusive to Best Buy. I think it was $10. And it's The Last House on the Left. And a lot of people thought that this was the remake. It's not the remake. It's the Wes Craven one. It's just that the cover, even when I was picking it up, I was like, wait a minute, is this the remake? The cover to it, though, I didn't care for this. They put it out on DVD like this, too, before. I didn't care for it. I mean, I looked at this on the Blu-ray. It doesn't look a whole lot better. I mean, the movie was shot, as I recall, on 16mm. It was really grainy to begin with. That's sort of the way it looks. See, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre really cleaned up on Blu-ray. I was really surprised with that. This, on the other hand, almost doesn't look better at all. It almost looks slightly worse in some parts. But, you know, it's still on a Blu-ray, so that's cool, and, you know, exclusive to Best Buy. But it's not one you're going to have to run out to get. This one I just got tonight, so I have to look at the features on it. And they have 2 different versions of this. And they've been doing that a lot lately, where they have the the Blu-ray version, which is just the Blu-ray, and then they have the Blu-ray DVD combo, which is $5 more. But the thing is, I would say, oh, I'll get the Blu-ray version, just the plain Blu-ray. It doesn't have half the features and stuff. It just has like one feature on it, sort of like flimsy and punish. And it has a different cover, so it's like, oh, jeez. So you kind of have to get this if you want any of the features. And this is one of the ones that I would actually look at some of the features on. And this one, if you haven't seen it, it's Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis having to go on this road trip because they get banned from the airport. And all kinds of problems happen to them along the way. It's very much like a Tommy Boy mixed with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's very, very much like those movies. And if you like road trip movies, or you like movies where all kinds of problems are happening throughout the movie, it's good. There's a lot of cameos in it. It's definitely a fun movie. You know, it's not... I didn't like it more than The Hangover. I like The Hangover a lot. I'm a little interested in seeing the sequel to it. It's, you know, it's good, though. It is really good, though. And this I got, they first put these out. The third one, though, was terrible of this. And I liked the first one. Paul Giamatti was in the first one. I thought it was a fun movie. It really was really good. The second one was not amazing. There are a few weird flaws in it. Like, I remember, I'll say what it is, though. It's Big Mama's House 1 and 2. But in the first movie was really good. The second one, there's some scenes when the one wife is like, where are you? Within minutes, she was at this mall, which apparently was supposed to be far away. Some weird, just weird stuff in it that didn't make sense. But the only way you can buy this is part 1 and 2. It's the same price anyway as what it would be if you just had the first one. And it has the same features as the DVDs do. But, you know, like I said, I liked the first Big Mama's House. I thought it was funny. You know, the second one, though, isn't very good. The third one is horrible. The next one I got, and I've seen this on demand, so I haven't got to look at the DVD, but as I recall, it's the same version. And it's Hatchet 2. And it was only $14.99. I was like, what the hell, I'll get it. You know, it's not as good as the first movie. Not at all. The first movie, in my opinion, really was very well done, very interesting. I liked the cast in the first one a lot. I really Richard Riley, I really liked the cast in the first one. And I like Daniel Harris, and I like Tony Todd a lot in the second one, because they had big parts in the second one. Daniel Harris took over for the girl in the original that didn't want to come back for whatever reason. But, you know, this was fun. You know, Lloyd Kaufman has a little cameo in it. It's a fun movie. It's just, in my opinion, it's just not as good as the first one. It's really hard to live up to the first one. And it didn't do anything really new with the story. But like I said, it's not terrible by any means. The next one I got just came out, and it's Uncle Buck on Blu-ray, which is a classic movie with John Candy. If you haven't seen it, this is one you definitely have got to get. I'm glad, too, that they kept the same cover. Like, I always thought this was a perfect cover, and I'm glad they didn't change it around or do anything weird. The only thing they changed was the lettering to, like, it's originally this purple, like, pinkish color. But this was Uncle Buck, like, something happened. I never remember what happens. I always liked it when Uncle Buck came in, but the parents had to leave, and they didn't know who to call to babysit the kids while they're away dealing with something, and they call up one's brother, and he has to come and watch the kids, and that's John Candy. And he's dealing with the kids, not knowing at all what he's doing, having to get them to school, dealing with all their problems. I don't know, it's a great movie, and I hope they don't remake this. I mean, this is one of those things where nobody could redo this. There's no one better than John Candy. John Candy, in my opinion, was a huge loss, and no one ever lived up to John Candy, in my opinion. He was really good. This one was sort of stupid, and I shut it off, and it was Cold Dog Soup. I don't know, just something about it was annoying me. I don't even want to talk about it. This one was interesting, though. It's Checking Out with Jeff Daniels, and Jeff Daniels is at a barbecue with his friend that he works with at the office, and the friend's telling this one joke like, why do Italians not hate barbecues? And then he ends up having like a heart attack and dies. So then Jeff Daniels ends up becoming paranoid that he's sick and he's going to die. So he like has problems leaving the house and has to keep seeing doctors, things like that. So it's just basically him freaking out the whole movie. And it's decent. I mean, it's not amazing. It's interesting they're putting out all these kind of from handmade films. They're kind of weird movies that I think all kind of got forgotten about. And it's good. It's not as good as Jeff Daniels' comedy and like something like Dumb and Dumber, but it's still good though. Now this I forgot to show in the last update, and I don't know why. And it's the Goonies set. And this was the one that I got for $6 when there was some kind of a glitch going on Amazon, and they set it for like, I think like 3 hours, maybe not even that, on Amazon. And I think Wet Movie 1 from YouTube posted on his wall that they're on sale like that, so I went and grabbed it real quick, and then like right after I ordered it, maybe 6 or 7 minutes later, I went back to look, and that was said sold out or something like that, and then 2 days later they put it back as a full price of like $35, something like that. So that was pretty cool to find it for that. This one I just got tonight, which I've been wanting to watch this again for a while, is Martin Lawrence and Blue Streak, because I realized I don't have a lot of his movies, and there's a lot of his stuff that I liked. And this one I got. I didn't enjoy this too much. I think because I read that it was filmed without people knowing what they were making or something. It just didn't feel as cool as it should have to me. It was this monsters movie. I don't know, something about the fact knowing that they didn't know what they were doing or something. I didn't like that. I'm like, it's like sort of seemed like a weird way to make the movie. And I like doing movies in weird ways, but there's something about it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't know. So I don't know what it was. This one I got for $5. FYE, you should look. All the FYEs now have something going on where they were like repriced a lot of their Blu-rays, and some decent stuff in there for $5. I don't know if it was just the one I was at. And I know there's not a lot of FYEs left. I know a lot of them have closed. Most of them have. But if you can find one, I would check it out, because I got Stir of Echoes for $5, and they had new movies in there for $5. They had like, what's not really new, but like Be Kind, Rewind. Lots of stuff was $5. And this is one that I wanted to watch for a while that I've got to rewatch, that I've got to watch for the first time, and it's The Postman. For some reason, I've never seen this, and I've always wanted to. And it was only $10. But Stir of Echoes, though, is one that will really freak you out. Like, I remember this whole big thing about this years ago, and if anyone remembers the store, let me know. Back when Circuit City was, you know, still in business, they had Circuit City Express. And I remember I saw Stir of Echoes in there, and I think this is before I knew about finding things early. I'm like, oh yeah, this looks good, I get that. They're like, oh, sorry, sir. This is out by mistake. You can't get it yet. And it was a huge to-do. So I always remember that situation with Stir of Echoes. But this one was with Kevin Bacon, and some weird things were going on in the house, and the ending is real freakish. It is a very creepy movie, but it's cool. So anyway, though, this is all the DVDs and Blu-rays I've gotten over the last, I think, month or so. I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, so it's going to screw up doing the updates like on time. But I should be able to have one done in like 3 weeks to a month. Like right when I get back, I'll have to catch up on watching stuff, like whatever comes out at that point. There might be one other video before I go. If the Lashman trailer's online, I'll do a video about that. If not, I mean, as far as I know, it should be. If not, this will be the last one, but hopefully you guys can see the Lashman thing. That should be up tomorrow or the next day, and I'll put a video up for that if it isn't. And also, just so you know, there won't be any videos up again starting from the 25th of February till March 8th when I get back. And there'll be a couple things with MJ then, too, so you'll be able to see some stuff like that. Anyway, though, thanks again for everyone for watching and for subscribing. And also, you feel free to leave messages, too, about what kind of collection videos you'd like to see me do again. Because look back on the ones I've done before. If there's any ones you'd like to see me redo again, or anything new. Like, a lot of people ask about war films. I don't really have a lot of war films or anything like that, because that's one that people ask me about a lot. Anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys later.